Entrepreneurship is the more word of the mouth in 21st century. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it comes to keep expanding your comfort zone and continuous learning, which leads us to read a lot of books. In this video, I'm going to share with you what are some of the books that I read as an entrepreneur in my first year and what are some of my key outcomes. So make sure you stay until the end of this video. Hi, it's Walid Aman Khan. In this channel, I empower people to become high performance entrepreneurs. Now, I still remember the first book I read. I didn't read, I actually listened to was of my second mentor, FU Money, Dan Lok. I was printing flags late night at 4 a.m. one of the worst time in my life. I was actually listening to the book. It's a 4-hour or maybe 6-hour audio. I listened to that at that night at once. And after that, that played a crucial role in my life. And after that, that shifted my life. And after that, because of coronavirus, I came back to Pakistan. Then I wrote the books of my first mentor, Qasim Ali Shah. And I bought these books earlier, and when I got to Pakistan, I read his books. And his first book is Apni Talash. Now, this book is about self-actualization, self-discovery, knowing your why. Same, I guess, what Simon Sinek talks about. Knowing your why, knowing your values, knowing your why you're doing something, who are you, what are the people you should spend time with, what are the people you should not spend time with. This book answers all the questions relating to yourself, knowing yourself. So the second book that I read was of my mentor, Zara Lamho. Now, this book contains some of the short sentences that introduces you to different and big aspects of life. Short sentences, just like quotes, that introduces you to big aspects of life. And the third book, Badi Manzil Ka Musafir. Now, this translates into a traveler of a bigger journey. In this book, my mentor has taken some of the key lessons of his life, of his learning, and compiled them all in this book, Badi Manzil Ka Musafir. Now, if these books are my core value, are my principles, the foundation of myself. This is the foundation of me. My values, my principles, my ethics, everything. If you want to know what my values and ethics are, you can go read it out. Obviously, these books are in Urdu. And after that, the fourth book I read after that was of my second mentor, and I actually got printed, and this time I read is FU Money. Now, FU Money is a success blueprint. Now, what do I mean by success blueprint? Now, successful blueprint is for the people, ordinary people that achieve extraordinary success. You will find all the answers, all the levels, all the clues, all the directions in this book of an ordinary person who went from a nobody to a multi-millionaire. Now, another part of this book, this book shows a real entrepreneurial spirit. If you want me to, when it comes to FU Money, two words come to my mind every time I talk about FU Money. Number one is a success blueprint. I also made a video on how ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. That video was based on this idea that how common people, achieve extraordinary success. And the second word that come to my mind is that real entrepreneurial spirit. Now, when I'm researching for my every YouTube video, I consult this book a lot of time, and I've read this book many times. And the fifth book that I read was again of my second mentor, and I don't know if you can see it or not. This book is Unlock It. Now, I define Unlock It as an Iron Man suit. Wherever you are in your life, you're a student, you're just getting started, you have a job, you have a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're learning a new skill, you're professional, you're becoming an athlete, anything you're doing, you gotta read this Unlock It. This is an Iron Man suit. Now, I'll give you Iron Man example that Iron Man is when he's not wearing his suit. He has his intelligence, he has his good intentions, he has his power, but guess what? When he wears his suit, he can eliminate more enemies, he can pull off big stuff, he can save more people. Iron Man suit intensifies and amplifies all what you have. So this is your Iron Man suit. Make sure you wear your Iron Man suit and boost and excel in whatever you're doing right now. So this is the probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th book of my second mentor. I read Unlock It. And after that, I went on to read the first skill book. Now, these other books, these are foundational books working on your mindset and all those things. The first ever I read book was skill book, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I also made a video on this book, giving you a path on how you can actually master this book. I'm not a master of this book, I'm on the way. And this book actually gives you a new mindset on communication that you use when you communicate. And when you communicate, because wealth is communication, business is communication, everything is communication. When you communicate well, guess what? You will really excel in your life. And this is the first book, this is the first Read. You gotta give. If you are, you know, an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, even if you're not, you're just an individual, you're not doing things, providing value to this world, you gotta read it to, you know, convey your ideas, to convey your thoughts, to convey your opinion. You know how you actually make friends and influence people. So this is the first skill book I recommend, and this is the first skill book I read in my first year as an entrepreneur. And another book, the seventh book I read as an entrepreneur, is again the skill book, and it's public speaking. Now, how to develop self-confidence and influence public speaking. This book is based on public speakers. Now, in time to time, many of us, my viewers, I believe that you will achieve something in life, and when you will achieve that thing, you will be asked on different platforms, how did you achieve that thing? And at that moment, I think you will need public speaking, because you will be talking to many people. So if you really want to become a public speaker, or if not, you can also give it a read. The first time when I read this book, I just kind of bragging through this book, underlining and all those stuff. And the second time, you know, when I read, then I actually understood this book, that what this book is actually about. So how to develop self-confidence and influence people by public speaking. The eighth and the last book of my year was, I will actually, you know, not disclose this to you, but before I tell you something, imagine this, that you are on a picnic and you see this a small cave, and in that cave there's this little path, and you walk in small space, and when you go there you discover a new city, just like in the movie Journey. My question to you, whole new ancient city, my question to you is, what would be your feelings? How would you feel like? How would you tell other people about that city? Now, I feel the same, and this book is the 80-20 principle. This is the 8th book I read in my book. I have taken decisions based on this book, and you will see the results of those decisions in the upcoming years. Now, this book is like, it is on a natural law, a principle on which the universe works. It is a deep book. I don't think so that I've read it, I'm reading it twice. I don't think so that I have read even 5%. I don't think so that I have understood this book even 5%. And I wish that in my life I could meet a master of an 80-20 principle. This is a deep book. You can go read, but this requires you a lot of deep thinking. So this was the 8th and most wonderful book of my first year, 80-20 principle. Now, there are other books that I intend to read, you know, afterwards, and the first book of them is Art of War by Sun Tzu. Now, this book is based on it was a commander of China, and he compiled one of his strategies for a war. This book is most used in the business world and in common life, and I've not read it, but I've listened to it a lot, and when I will read this, I will share a video learnings with you. And another book that I intend to read is Think and Grow Rich. Now, this book is, if you're conscious of success, of failure, of goal, of vision, this is a good book to start with. Now, this book is, I call, the doorway to the success world and to the journey work, you know, success world, basically. So this is, make sure you also give it also a read. And I will I've listened to this book. I've listened to some of the chapters when I was in Dubai, but you know, reading is better. Listening, it doesn't work for me. Now, when it comes to what are some of the outcomes when it comes to reading books, I believe there are 3 kinds of people. Number 1, they don't read books. Number 2, they read books. And number 3, the few ones that implement what they read. When it comes to reading books, reading is so simple. I can read Sun Tzu, Art of War, just like in 3 hours. But the difficult part is, how can I implement what I've read? I have a lot of stack pending to be implemented. I have a lot of things to be implemented, from how to win friends and influence people. I have a lot of stuff to be implemented in 80-20 principle. I have a lot of stuff to be implemented from how to develop self-confidence and influence people by public speaking. So I believe that reading 6 to 8 books per year and implementing them it's a good average. It's a good. Main thing is to implement what you have read. For example, let's say you have read How to Talk to Strangers. Now, guess what? After reading the first chapter, after reading the whole book, how many strangers you have talked to? This is the main thinking. It's only about, it's a competition of implementation. Reading books and entrepreneurship, it's the competition of implementation. What you have read, how fast you actually implement. Now, before we end this video, I would like you to comment below that what was the first book that you read? What is the book that you intend to read? What is the book that you intend to read after watching this video? Maybe you comment below, you find somebody else who is also reading or want to read or have read that book, and you can, you know, network with same kind of people. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press the bell icon. I will see you in my new YouTube video. Thank you.